Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Thank you for joining with a little bit of advance. This is Olga speaking. We are going to wait for a few minutes for everyone to join and for Jennifer to join, who will be hosting the event tonight. So let's just wait a moment here and then feel free to test if you want. We have 4 minutes. If you have everything ready on your side, all the documents, if everything is working correctly with your Zoom.
Thanks, Olga.
Hi. I think I need sharing enabled so I can show my presentation.
Let me look into that for you.
Thank you.
Yeah, likewise, it seems to be disabled.
Good luck, everyone.
That's why we're here.
Same to you, Paul. I see that we're two Brits here, at least two.
Where are you?
London.
Oh, nice. I've literally just moved to Yorkshire from London after 29 years in Belsize Park. I now live in North Yorkshire in the countryside, which I've got to say is a little bit of a surprise.
Yeah, it's a bit different there, but Yorkshire's lovely.
Yeah, it is. It's nice. Right, I've got to find my documents.
Can you try now? It actually should be available for everyone to share.
Screens.
Yep, it's working now.
Does it let you show your presentation?
Yep. Well, click on the share and it opens up, what I have open. So yeah.
Let's have a look what I've got. Now I've got a whiteboard. This isn't good. Let's go back to where I am. Let's try again.
Just click on the share. I mean, doesn't it pop up with a white window with everything, with all your bits open?
No, I've got a window with everything unknown. That's very strange.
Sometimes Zoom does play up. That's true. I've had that before, that sometimes you have a few things open and it only shows you a small selection and then you have to click view more or something. Not quite sure how to help you with that one.
No, I'll have to...
You could try just log out and log back in.
I'm going to log out and come back in.
Yeah.
Great. Hi, Jennifer.
Hi, good morning.
Hi, Jennifer. Good morning. It's 5 p.m. here.
Evening for you.
It's 1 a.m. for me.
Probably the best solution, say good day, kind of covers everything.
Yes, very well said, yes. Here in Washington State, how is everyone?
In London, it's fine, thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm in Hong Kong and I'm like on my third coffee to stay alert and awake because it's like 1 a.m.
Wow.
But, yeah.
That's dedication.
Yeah.
Yes, we're so thrilled to have you with us, even at this late hour.
No worries. I was shifting my regime like 1 week prior. I was just forcing myself to go to sleep very late so I can stay awake at this hour.
Oh my God, this is amazing. We're so happy you made it.
Thanks.
Well, that's not letting me share anything, which is really strange.
Oh, it's not letting you?
No, it's not. Let's see if that's going to let me.
Do you have your share maybe disabled? No, because if you had it disabled, it won't let you have the pop-up window either.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't. Let's see if that will do that. Let's change a setting. You've got my presentation anyway, haven't you, Olga?
Yes, I do.
Would you mind just bringing it up when I start? It's really straightforward. There's only a few slides.
Yes, sure. I can do that.
Thank you. It was the one I sent this afternoon.
Yes.
Thank you.
Olga, where are you based?
I'm in France.
Lovely. I thought Startup Club is from US.
We are incorporated in Germany, but we do a lot of things with the US-based companies as well. We are, yeah, we're quite international. We worked for a few years with, we had a joint venture with the US company for a few years. So we have a big network there, but we're incorporated in Germany. Oliver is based in Germany, and I'm in France.
I think mine's working now, by the way.
Oh, okay, perfect. Well,
Fingers crossed.
if you need anything, I have everyone's presentation here as well,
you.
so we should be good. Let me just check if we have everyone from, let's say, the core teams. Hi, Veronica. Hello, Hélène. I think we're just waiting for one advisor. So let's give it a quick moment.
If you're waiting for Chantal, I'm here. I'm just in the Stockholm
Okay,
meeting
got it.
room.
Yes, okay.
Yes,
Okay.
sorry.
Okay, great.
put my-
Then I think we can get started. Jennifer, is everything ready on your side?
Yeah, I have everything pulled up and ready to go. Thank you, Olga.
Perfect.
Thank you, everybody, for joining as well.
Let me then, I'm gonna start admitting everyone, and then I'll share my screen with the lineup, and after you can take it away from here.
Okay, thanks, Olga.
Recording in progress.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining. I'm Jennifer Lully. I'm going to be your host today and introducing the Startup Club. And we're looking forward to meeting with everyone and hearing from some great pitches today. First, I'm just going to introduce briefly the Startup Club, and then we'll talk about our advisors and allow them to introduce themselves. And then we'll turn it over to our startups and companies. Okay. So the Startup Club we're a global entrepreneur and investment community. And since 2019, we host a series of pitch events and connect startups with key players in the global entrepreneur ecosystem. This is across several key industries like fashion, luxury, and beauty, and sustainability. So today we're going to be working with or hearing from some key advisors that we have. We're excited to have them join us. We have Veronica, Chantal, and Hélène. And I'll let you all introduce yourselves. Veronica, would you mind coming on and give us a quick introduction?
Of course, I'm really excited to be here today. My name is Veronica Jai, and I own and run my own luxury fashion brand in New York. I also invest in luxury and consumer on the side. Thank you.
Thank you, Veronica. And Chantal?
Hi, everyone. I'm Chantal. I'm based here in London. I'm part of Claret Capital and I sit in the investment team here. The fund is largely focused on investing in tech and life science businesses. And by tech, that just means everything tech enabled. So from e-commerce, in the consumer space, all the way to sort of space tech, climate tech, and so on.
Thank you. Appreciate that. And lastly, Hélène. Are you there with us? Olga, do we have her joining? Oh, I see you, Hélène. We can't hear you.
Hello. I'm Christy,
Oh,
your cut jewelry. Thank you for having me here.
Yes, so I can see Ellen with us, but maybe there's a small technical issue, so maybe we can circle back in a moment.
yeah, perfect. Okay. Well, thank you everybody for the introduction. We appreciate you joining with us, and thank you for your guidance and advice with our companies. And now we'll hear from our pitches and moving quickly. We have quite a few today that we're going to hear from. And we're going to start with our first pitch will be ORBA shoes. This is presented by Scott Andersson. Scott, we're going to turn it over to you and good luck.
Better with the microphone on, isn't it?
There we are.
Hello, everybody. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
So, my name is Scott Andersson. I'm ORBA Shoes. I'm one of 5 co-founders of ORBA. It's the company that leaves no trace. In creating our first product, the Ghost, a shoe designed to biodegrade and compost in its afterlife, we perfected ORBA Bio Rubber to make the beautiful sole. It's a non-toxic rubber with no compromise to functionality or cost. If we don't make changes, the earth will choke on rubber and plastic waste. For example, the 24 billion pairs of shoes made annually will last around 200 years after disposal. That amount of waste will fill 19 million Olympic swimming pools. The Ghost is made from renewable plants, flax, hemp, rami, coconut husk, and food waste stream materials. It's a better product with lower impacts, lower input costs, and better margins. The ORBA Bio Rubber for a beautiful sole is natural latex, vegetable oils, rice husk ash, powdered oyster shells for abrasion resistance, and again waste from food production. It's perfect in shoes, and there's thousands of other prospective applications. During 5 years of in-market development and testing, we've put 6,000 pairs of shoes on people's feet, won multiple international and local awards and certifications. We're a certified B Corp. We're the only rubber or shoe to be US Department of Agriculture certified as bio-based, 95% plus, and we're uniquely qualified for EU government bio-preferred purchasing programs that supply to military, Department of Conservation, so forth. Last quarter, 50% of our customers were returning customers. Development is in government labs in Taiwan, Indonesia, and New Zealand. Implementation is through factories, some of whom we have 40-year business relationships with. Shoe marketing has been B2C only in New Zealand while we prove ourselves and improve our materials. We launched globally on a Kickstarter campaign in Q1 2026. And as production costs decline with volume, we can then supply mass retail for exponential volume increases. And for our rubber shoe soles and other materials, that'll be B2B directly through footwear companies, many of whom we already have long-term trusted relationships. The market for biosoles is $40 billion US. The market for casual shoes, $300 billion. With materials like ours, all casual shoes can become eco shoes. The total market for all our footwear innovations is over $500 billion, and that doesn't count applications beyond footwear. Our R&D investment to date in New Zealand, Indonesia, and Taiwan has been 1.6 million Kiwi. That's half it for euros. I'm sorry, the presentation's in Kiwi. The conservative financial projection is to sell 2 million pairs of shoes and soles over the next 5 years. And that's just 25% of what comparable companies have achieved in recent times. It's very conservative. Our co-founder, Marshall Westlake, has been in the business 63 years, starting with Clark's in the UK. He spent 40 years growing the Indonesian industry from a startup to now 1 million people. It's Marshall's story, his passion, and his determination to stop pollution from his industry has been a key to this business. Jill's a Master of Sustainable Development out of London University, and she's behind our world-class sustainability practice. Look, very few products make true change, and we're one of them. A Business Insider video out of New York recently assessed 7 eco shoes, ranking ORBA in the top 2 of both categories that they assessed. For biorubber, there are 7 eco-alternative materials to toxic shoe rubber, but their raw material costs are up to $10 a kilogram and they lack performance. ORBA's rubber starts at 25 cents in terms of raw input costs because we use waste stream materials. We're ISO tested in 18 different dimensions for functionality. There's an offer now in the market for 450,000 New Zealand dollars, 225,000 euro. It's small and it's for 11% of the company because we're still small. But these funds will pre-launch the new product internationally and help us to raise 3 million in Q2 2026 for a further 10% shareholding. This investment can be matched by 40 cents in the dollar by New Zealand government grants, and investors may qualify for New Zealand residency. So we are proving that industries can reset, can stop polluting, can stop waste by using better materials with plant-based, ethical and biocircular materials. This is just the beginning. Together we can solve the waste crisis, but we need your help. I hope someone is up for it. Thank you for listening to me. Please scan the QR code to go to our website, and I welcome questions now and in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Scott. That was great. Appreciate it. And we'll hear from the board, of course, with their questions. Veronica, let's start with you.
Hi, Scott. I really love that ORBA has such a strong sustainability and innovation angle. I too run a sustainable luxury fashion brand, so I totally get it. My question is for the long-term positioning. Are you more interested in becoming this sustainable fashion shoe brand, or are you more interested in developing into this material tech company where you have more distributions channels with other retail shoe brands with more scale?
We need to do both within the same group, but have completely separate corporate entities running the material side of the business from the shoe fashion side of the business. Some of our inventions to get our costs down require very high volume to get economies of scale. And our patents also require high volumes in order to use the patents. Our factories are set up for very high volumes. So we must do both. We can walk and chew gum at the same time with the correct corporate structure.
Thank you.
And in your opinion, would it be better to start by being, I would say, a technical player providing rubber to larger companies or brands? Maybe it would be easier to start with this option and then to expand to, I would say, a brand positioning. What's your opinion about
Two sides to that excellent question. We have close contacts in the industry because we've been here for 40 years. So we're already working with 4 other small and trusted shoe companies. Each one would take about 1 million pairs a year across their entire production. That's for the biorubber. But we've been in the market in New Zealand and establishing our brand for our shoes already for 5 years. So the shoes and the materials are highly newsworthy and highly well positioned for a PR-based Kickstarter campaign globally. Kickstarter being, let's solve these problems, buy the shoes up front, and then we can make according to the Kickstarter at minimal cost. For example, we can do 500 different colours, plant-based colours, removing the problem of pollution from textiles using traditional Balinese dyeing methods. 5 colours, from 500 different sorry, 500 different plants to make 5 colors.
Okay, thank you.
So I got a bit confused in the answer. Sorry, Helene. Again, it's doing both parallel tracks through separate corporate entities. One, retail shoes, 2, wholesale bio-rubber, or license.
Okay. And maybe one additional question. I didn't hear very well at the beginning because in my personal experience, it's very difficult to, I would say, with new material to optimize the performance of the material regarding, I would say, intensive efforts for instance, for trail shoes or for intensive sport, I would say, sneakers. What is your what are your KPIs or your proof regarding the performance of this material?
We do an overall tranche of 40 different types of tests on our product. So there's around 18 ISO tests on our shoe materials. So the sole is about 12 of them. Every time we reiterate development to minimize biodegradation time, which is now down to about 2 years, we have to retest all the ISO tests for abrasion resistance, wet and dry slip, penetration resistance, and we pass, or we're close to passing all those tests. There's no tests for casual shoes.
Okay.
But we use the tests for safety shoes. And if we can approach, say, 80% of the standard for safety shoes, then that's good enough for casual shoes. That's the kind of approach.
Thank you.
We do the same with the upper, and we do the same with fade resistance and water penetration. Who's next?
Our final advisory member. Let's hear from Chantal.
Yeah, so I think a key question for me is more on the commercial front, because, you know, your projections show some meaningful scale ahead, which is very exciting, but how have you kind of tested the consumer willingness to pay at the target price points that you've set, and what gives you the confidence that the demand for biodegradable footwear can extend beyond those early sustainable, you know, adopters?
That's 5 years test marketing and proof and growing in New Zealand, and with 15% of our sales without marketing going overseas. New Zealand's absolutely tiny. It's a tiny country. It's very hard for you Europeans to understand how small and distant it is. We did a pre-launch in New Zealand for a new black shoe, and with no advertising, we sold 600 pairs pre-launch. So we can do that in New Zealand, then we can sell 6,000 pairs with the same amount of effort and improve performance in the US and EU by an effective pre-launch. A similar placed company, not in shoes, sold 18,000 of their compostable product using exactly the same method that we're going to follow. They sold 18,000. Our conservative case is 6,000, which is 2 containers. I think we'll get there in spades. I think we'll get there easily, given all our great stories that we have.
And I guess just following on from that, so how do you kind of plan to compete and differentiate with those sustainable footwear brands that are already on the market?
The Business Insider video, search Business Insider compostable shoes. So they rated us as the best performing. They tested 7 sustainable claiming, compostability claiming brands. 4 of them completely failed. They were just greenwashing, absolute bunch of liars. We performed extremely well. And then we can back that with our product and founder stories, which we don't have time to go through today. Did I answer that question okay?
Great.
I could go on
Yeah.
forever.
No, great. Yeah, so your USP is essentially that you can beat your competitors on your actual claims, really. So that's good.
Yes. Together with 5-star ratings for comfort. So our customers rate us higher for comfort. Our footbed is coconut husk and cork, a bit like a Birkenstock, but that together with our coring molds the shape of your foot. So we get almost a 20% 5-star customer review rate against an industry average of 5%. Our customers just love us. We like them too.
Any other questions for Scott and ORBA?
Yeah, maybe one additional question. Are some among your, I would say, business partners or the brands, the 4 brands that you mentioned that you are working with, are some of them willing to invest in your project, or did they invest previously?
I don't really like, as a matter of practice, to ask potential customers to invest. I think there's enough investment out there, and we've already raised $2 million in New Zealand and had a $400,000 government grant. So just as a matter of process, I don't really like customers investing. And for example, our main assembly factory, which is not a customer, but they have to deal with others throughout the industry, so they won't get that. It's not good structure for them to get too tied to us, in my opinion. But it's a good question. Short answer, I haven't really explored it.
Okay.
For those reasons I've said.
But I understand that in terms of governance, you would prefer to have I would say, another type of investors at your board.
We would prefer to re-domicile to EU and have some EU board members. We've lived in Copenhagen before.
Okay.
Thank you both. Thank you, everyone. Great pitch, Scott. Really appreciate it. And thank you for sharing with everyone. We actually have a few comments too before we proceed to the next pitch. More on the structure and sponsorship for the rest of the event today. So I just want to add that we're actually going to be highlighting a few different, featuring a few different entrepreneurs for this event. So we want to give a shout out to Here Cuff Jewelry, who's transforming how the world wears technology. Their patent award wearing ear cuffs securely hold popular wireless earbuds, no piercings required, and they're crafted from hypoallergenic precious metals, are versatile, gender neutral designs, which solve the $300 billion problem of lost earbuds by turning technology into wearable art. And the second entrepreneur that we want to feature for today is Nouvelle Silk 95.5, which is a luxury and sustainable washable stretch silk brand. And they're designed to last. These collections are intentionally focused on signature blended fabric, Silk 95.5, in simple yet elegant styles, making it easy for any woman to build a seasonless wardrobe that's more than just foundational. The other comment is, for the event today, we are partnering with That Round. They're an online platform that connects startups with the right fundraising partners. Their mission is to revolutionize the fundraising process for startups by making access to funding more straightforward and transparent. And their online platform acts as both an aggregator and a marketplace, linking startups who are raising capital with the right fundraising services. So thank you, everyone. Appreciate you listening. And next, we'll turn to the next pitch. We're going to hear from Spaceling, presented by Michael. Michael, we'll turn it over to you, and good luck.
Thanks ever so much, Jennifer. Just 1 second. Okay, so thanks, Jennifer. So as we all know, social media is a great invention. It started off as a wonderful thing. Sorry. Connecting people from near and far. There's no denying that it's been a real game changer in how we all interact and engage with the world around us. But over the years, a very dark and toxic side emerged, and most of us have been affected by its toxicity, either directly or indirectly affecting people near and dear to us. Having witnessed firsthand myself the negative impact that social media can have on its users, particularly the young and vulnerable, creating a safe and inclusive space has long been a matter very close and dear to my heart. So when the chance came up to co-found Spaceling, I saw it as a real opportunity, not only to build an exciting business, but also to, at the very least, have a real go at fixing our broken social media ecosystem and making a significant and meaningful difference to society.
So what is Spaceling? Well, as per our tagline, Spaceling is your space where you belong. In a nutshell, Spaceling is social media as it should be, a safe and welcoming space focused on you, the user, an inclusive community which was born with you in mind, a space where you are in control of both your privacy and your data. We all know that social media is broken. It's been so for a long time, full of toxicity and fake news, with the major platforms deploying then manipulating algorithms only to monetize human attention and increase the aggressive ads revenue model, and doing so whatever the cost to users' well-being. But we at Spaceling are tackling this issue head on, planning to fix it once and for all with our zero tolerance policy towards toxicity, using only user-centric algorithms and leveraging AI tech to power moderation and fact-checking, bringing social media back to the way it was always meant to be, a safe, inclusive, and welcoming space for individuals and communities to enjoy, thrive, and grow. A space where users can create posts, events, and co-blogs, or engage through our multiple feeds, communicate by chat, email, and even video conferencing. Users can back up their data onto our cloud storage, trade on virtual real estate and digital goods, and can even promote themselves or their businesses through digital ads. Spaceling invites users to step into a dynamic and totally immersive universe that's filled with topic-related clusters of data, each of them packed with endless, exciting user-created content to be explored, or as we at Spaceling call it, an explore feature. As for our equity holding cross-functional founding team, it's made up of seasoned entrepreneurs and subject matter experts, including 3 PhD AI specialists. Spaceling champions diversity and multiculturalism, proudly featuring over 50% women and 20% ethnic minorities, a solid team that all buy into Spaceling's ethos and concept. As for traction, we have a 3D MVP with its AI black box solution, UX UI designs and AI blueprints ready for beta version, cross-jurisdictional trademarks, and a 7,000 pre-release waitlist. Our investment grade and independently validated hybrid B2B and B2C financial model is founded on conservative OPEX, MAU, and ARPU figures and comprises multiple revenue streams, including SaaS subscriptions, premium upgrades, marketplace commissions, and advertising too, altogether offering realistically attainable returns. We're looking to raise $3.8 million to secure a 15-month runway. This is based on a $17 million pre-money DCF and comps independent valuation in return for 18% equity. We had a successful pre-seed round and have real skin in the game, having heavily self-funded. Thanks ever so much for your kind attention and giving me the opportunity to introduce you to our bold and ambitious venture, Spaceling. Hopefully you've enjoyed what you just heard and will be keen to join us at Spaceling on this transformative mission to disrupt the status quo, to revolutionize and indeed shape the future of social media, and through this make a real global social impact on humanity.
The question is, does the world actually need another social media platform? And what's wrong with the current one? So Our in-depth research has shown that people simply don't feel safe on social media anymore, from toxicity to cyberbullying, the hate speech through misinformation, endless fake accounts, and data privacy breaches too. Being online comes with countless risks and of harm, both to ourselves and to our loved ones' well-being. Spaceling actually published a couple of research-based articles on its LinkedIn page, which you can all have a look later on the topics of the rise and spread of fake news on social media and on moderation versus freedom of speech. Articles with lots of reference statistics, but here are just a few of them just to validate the desperate need for Spaceling. So 83% of people worldwide believe that harmful social media content should be restricted, while 67% often encounter hate speech online, 85% worry about the impact of fake news, and of them, 89% demand intervention in regards to fake news. Spaceling is mission focused on making a significant positive social impact on humanity and society that's in line with its sustainable development goals, changing and reshaping the way we all interact and engage on social media, tackling social, ethical, fairness, and online safety issues on a global scale, focusing on protecting all of its users, but in particular the young and vulnerable, from a social media that's truly engulfed with toxicity. Spaceling is tackling all this head on with a zero tolerance policy towards toxicity, deploying only user-centric algorithms, and with its proprietary AI-powered solution for both toxicity moderation and fact-checking, which is all then backed by a lean and well-trained human team to provide a safe and welcoming space and crucially improve users' well-being. Spaceling is creating an inclusive and welcoming community where everyone is valued and all voices matter, empowering its users with full control of their privacy, data, and digital experience through a plethora of privacy and data sharing user settings and a very firm commitment to never sell their data without consent. Spaceling offers both its business and leisure users an all-in-one holistic solution, a seamless one-stop shop, if you like, for managing all their social media, networking, business communication channels, data storage, marketplace trading, and digital marketing needs. It goes even further, and in line with its ethical and fairness ethos, even offers users a share in the advertising profit pot. While Spaceling does have a conventional feed, it also introduced an innovative, visually enhanced and multi-dimensional environment, incorporating full motion 3D technology and with virtual reality capabilities to follow on later on down the line. It's a space where content isn't just something you scroll through, it's actually something you experience in ways unseen before. As for our markets, the market size, the total addressable market has 5.5 billion global internet users. The social media and digital advertising market worth is over $1 trillion. As for the service addressable market, featuring the social media sector, it has 5.2 billion active users, or it had rather earlier this year, with 260 million users signing up just in the past year alone. And it had a market worth of over $250 billion in 2024. Spaceling's serviceable obtainable market, which is our year 5 KPI, is set at a modest 2% market penetration of the actual social media market, so targeting 100 million users and a market value of just over $5 billion. As for the competition, whilst there are many social media platforms out there, and we're all familiar with them, there are none that share Spaceling's total commitment to creating a fully inclusive and welcoming space with a zero tolerance policy towards toxicity that champions positivity over negativity, a space where users are empowered with full control of their privacy and data. Mainstream platforms, we all know them, Meta and others, have been criticized by governments, whistleblowers, and everyday users alike for scaling back on moderation policies, data privacy breach issues, selling data without consent, deploying their negative and manipulating algorithms only to monetize human attention, and doing so by driving and promoting controversial content in order to increase their aggressive ads revenue model. And they do so at whatever the cost to users' well-being. Or as Facebook's whistleblower Frances Haugen put it, simply, they put profits ahead of people. There are some, like Blue Sky and Spill, that do indeed share parts of our vision, but they are either too niche and therefore have very limited audience, or don't offer the comprehensive solution, whereas Spaceling provides a truly holistic, all-in-one solution for business and leisure, for fully addressing the main social media pain points. As for our business model, Spaceling is fully committed to generating high profits for its stakeholders, but unlike platforms relying mainly on ads revenue and aggressively monetizing regardless of users' health and well-being, Spaceling offers a robust and independently validated hybrid B2B and B2C financial model, protecting its users' well-being by encompassing multiple revenue streams, including SaaS subscriptions, premium upgrades, marketplace commissions, and advertising too, but doing so in a safe and ethical way that allows us to yield high returns, but without harming users' well-being. Thanks ever so much for your kind attention, and I'm happy to take questions.
Thank you, Michael. Yeah, really appreciate that, especially through the tech issue, and great presentation. Let's hear from the board. Let's start with Chantal this time. Chantal?
Yeah, I think a key thing for me to kind of understand is obviously the social media space is very crowded, it's very fast moving. So what gives you the confidence that you can kind of break through that user fatigue that's going on at the moment and actually, really capture some meaningful share?
Well, okay, well, thank you very much for that, Chantal. So the answer to that, and I did address it a little bit in the pitch. Firstly, it's a huge market, and there is no one right now, that offers what Spaceling does. So therefore, effectively, it's like a first to market, really. But there are some who have done a little bit towards have addressed some of the issues. I mentioned Blue Sky and Spill, but they are very niche and limited features. So whilst, for example, Blue Sky are trying to be a healthier, better X because they're microblogging, we are gunning to be the next Facebook. So if you're talking about our long-term vision, that's what it is. Now, just to also mention that our research has shown us that the average user, social media user, has around 6.8 to 7.2 accounts on different social media. So we don't actually need to tell users, hey, you've got to leave Facebook or Insta or whatever to come to Spaceling. You just come to Spaceling as an additional one. We believe they'll stay with us. But so from that aspect, it's actually easier. But as I said, there is no one that offers what Spaceling does, and therefore we're very confident on that front. But we've also tested it. We ran a lead generation, very successful lead generation campaign earlier this year, and this was a very short, just a few weeks, with a minute budget, and we managed to sign up nearly 7,000 users. We have a wait list now of nearly 7,000 users just from that, and it was buzzing, and it was, so as I said, I mean, usually when you go to a lead generation campaign, you expect to spend quite a bit per user, per conversion, but we actually didn't spend that much because it's such a hot topic. So therefore, we are extremely confident. We've also got influencers who have signed up. We have angels who have signed up. So so hopefully that answers the question.
Yeah, and just kind of, just building on what you were saying, because obviously when new social media, sites come on, they they emerge quickly, but also fade quite fast. And as you said, you know, oftentimes people will have 6, 7, you know, social media accounts. So how are you thinking about building sort of lasting engagement and retention beyond that initial curiosity phase?
Okay, so again, great question. Firstly, I mentioned, I think it's mentioned in my film, but in the film, but possibly not. We have an amazing CMO, and that is her speciality. She's got over 15 years of experience, including working with VC companies. She led our lead generation campaign, and she's built a whole strategy, both for the lead generation, then to following seed, and to ensuring that people also stay with us. But also Spaceling, I don't know if I think it came across, I hope it did in the presentation, that Spaceling is not just a little social media. That's we're starting off in our MVP. It's just social media, basic social media features, and of course our 3D Explore feature. But Spaceling is way beyond that. We are talking about for businesses. We've got a whole B2B model also. The idea is to have it's a Facebook Plus. It's a Facebook Plus because it's for business, leisure. But as I said, the main thing is the safety and the privacy side and the safety side that no one offers what we are. And it's such, as I said, it's a hot topic, and I don't believe people will want to leave a Spaceling from, if I'm honest. I will also say that you may ask, okay, well, Facebook could easily do it. And the answer to that is, yes, they could, but they won't, because it goes against their whole business model, everything what they're about. So if you ask, you know, can people copy and etc.? Of course, it's like in anything when you start. But I believe because we have an amazing team, we have, I think, a very strong idea. We've ready, and also from the feedback we've got so far from our, what we call our space blazers, our first 7,000 sign-ups to the wait list, we are very confident this won't be just a phase. Seriously not, because this is a real issue. And with the new AI, and so we've got 3 PhD AI specialists to use AI in the positive way, to protect users, not to harm them. And we've come up with some solutions, and we want to continue doing that to protect users as much as we can. And that is our sole commitment. That's our total commitment.
Cool. Just so we're cognizant of time as well, Veronica, let's hear briefly from you, and Helen.
Apologies for my long answers.
It's okay.
Comprehensive.
Yeah, Michael, I would love if you can double down on who exactly is your target user here. What is their profile, and what sort of value do you create for them that current other platforms cannot provide?
Okay, thanks, Veronica. I mean, I'm not sure what I can add much more on what we're offering beyond what I've said so far. As far as the target market is concerned, the Spaceling is a global platform. It's suitable for everyone, regardless of age, gender, race, and belief. Initially, though, we'll be focusing our marketing efforts on the young to middle-aged professionals, aged 25 to 55, so millennials and above, who are already regular social media users. And the reason for this is because when we did our lead generation campaign earlier this year, the best responsive audience were during A/B testing with the lead with this age group. But as I said, it's for all ages, and we have plenty to offer all age groups, both for business and leisure. Oh, sorry, just one more thing. We're also introducing for under 18s what we call a family hub. It's not in our MVP, but it will be later on, the beta version. So without going into too much details, but giving also parents extra ways to protect their children beyond, even though we would hope that the way we have everything set up, they will have protection in any case through the platform.
Maybe one last question. It's very long and cash consuming to, I would say, to increase audiences for social media, for starting almost from zero. So in your perspective, how long would it take to, I would say, to be profitable? And how long would you lose money in the meantime?
Merci, Hélène. Okay, so the answer to that is as follows. Number one, again, I go back to our lead generation campaign. I was told by the experts, and I'm not the expert in that, but I was told by the expert to expect sort of £3, £4, £5 or whatever per conversion. And our A/B testing showed us that we actually got between 0.70 and 1.5 pounds. So it's between $1 and $1.70 or 80, something like that, which is very, very low. So therefore, and our P&L is very similar to that. So we've allowed for that in our P&L. So we're really not concerned. And that was before word of mouth and all the rest of it. And all although during our A/B testing, we did implement some of the strategy, not everything, and we have far more to do. So we're very confident about that. Now, as far as just briefly, we're looking to break into the black in year 3. So, and that will be following we're looking to have an Series A round we know we'll need at the end of the seed for approximately $10 million. But we'll be looking to break into the black in year 3. And our main KPI is year 5 with over $3 billion it's the currencies, a $3 billion revenue. And an EBITDA of 1.45, and based on an ARPU of $30 per user, which I think in the film you saw it, is we place ourselves in the middle of the pack, so we are very conservative. Pardon me. I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, thank you.
Merci.
Thank you both. Yeah, Michael, great job. I really appreciate you sharing, and thank you for all the comments from our board as well. Now we'll go to our third pitch. We're going to be hearing from Posthuman, presented by Lena Dang. Lena, we'll turn it over to you. Good luck.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Let me just share my screen. Can you see my screen?
Perfect.
Yes, perfect. Again, my name is Lena Dang. I'm founder and CEO of Posthuman Lab, an accessories and jewelry brand using 3D printing technology to create a wearable art that would be impossible with traditional manufacturing methods. Gen Z and millennials are now stepping away from the renowned fashion powerhouses. They crave something that is bold, unique, sustainable, and personalized. Yet the traditional jewelry market is outdated, overpriced, and wasteful, with mass production, with longer production timelines, and poor environmental impact. Posthuman Lab is using 3D printing technology instead in order to create intricate, complex, personalized designs that would be impossible with traditional means of manufacturing, from rings to glasses, to even tops and bags. This technology allows us to create a zero inventory waste system and shorter production timelines, making us a next generation fashion brand tapping into $18 billion global accessories market. Since we've launched our brand 18 months ago, we've generated $250,000 in revenue with 85% gross margin and $27 for cost per acquisition. Nearly unheard of in the traditional jewelry and accessories businesses. We've been featured in Vogue and Metal Magazine, and we've grown our community to 200,000 followers on socials, primarily organically. And just a few days ago, we've concluded partnership with one of the biggest anime franchises in the world for a collaborative drop. That being said, Posthuman Lab combines D2C, B2B, and B2B2C business model targeting Gen Z and millennials all across the globe, with main markets being in US, Australia, and European markets, age ranging between 18 to 40 years old and of all genders. We are led by a team of a perfect blend of creative and business expertise. I personally graduated with a finance degree from London School of Economics. Following my graduation, I decided to pursue my passion in arts and fashion, and quickly established a brand, and where I learned more about manufacturing, production, operational side of things, and quickly learned that doing something creative while being intellectually challenged is somewhat that brings me biggest joy and fulfillment in life, that ultimately bloomed into Posthuman Lab. We have Amy, who's head of finance. She brings a strong experience in financial planning and strategy, managing over 10 million pounds in luxury e-commerce retailers such as Matches and Farfetch. We have Nicholas, who is our 3D printing production manager, brings a strong a decade of experience in product design and 3D printing, with having collaborations and work with high couture designers like Iris von Herpen. We have Abel, who is a creative force behind Posthuman Lab aesthetic. She has strong portfolio working for brands like Nike, Vivienne Westwood, and Comme des Garçons. And Min, as our technology and material advisor, holds PhD in nanomaterials engineering, advises us whenever we need to R&D of a new product and we need a new material or advice on the new technology, how to produce that product. We're raising $1.5 million in order to accelerate our growth and capitalize on the momentum that we've already established. We're not just building a global fashion brand, but rather a strong, powerful community who are passionate about redefining self-expression and who wants to challenge traditional unsustainable frameworks of production. Join us. You're welcome to ask any questions.
Perfect. Thank you, Lena. We appreciate it. And as we shift into the next section to hear from our advisory members, let's also ask, just due to time as well, that we limit to one comment from advisor or one question. Okay, so Helen, let's hear from you first.
To be honest, I don't have a clear view of what are your main, I would say, targets regarding your business model. I understood that you want to address direct-to-consumer, B2B and B2B2C, but it's very wide. And my question is, what would be the easiest way for you to develop your company and your brand? That's my first question.
Yeah, thank you for asking this question. So as a starting point, we are D2C e-commerce company. So we are primarily operating online and now expanding into wholesale as our second phase. Then moving forward, we are planning to conquer US and European markets, then expand our strategy into APAC regions such as China, such as Hong Kong, Japan, South Korea, where they have a very strong appetite for innovative fashion. And then moving forward, our strategy is to start with pop-up shops. Once we gain that brand recognition, we will start with opening pop-up shops in the major fashion capitals, measuring the statistics, checking the demand, and then transitioning into full flagship stores. That's how I envision the growth for the brand.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. And next we'll turn over to Chantal, let's hear from you next.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I really enjoyed the pitch, and I think you see a few of these consumer brands coming up. It reminds me kind of Gentle Monster with the eyewear brand. It's along the same sort of affinity. But how do you see yourself scaling, especially because you want to keep this exclusivity, but how do you actually get the revenues up and sort of scale to mass market with keeping your niche?
Absolutely. Thanks for asking this question. So what we're planning to do is to expand our audiences through strategic collaborations with celebrities, influencers, and with other fashion brands. So we can expand our brand recognition whilst keeping acquisition costs low. Then we're planning, of course, doubling down on our I would say design language, where we release as many creative products as possible that create the organic buzz and draw attention to our brand, whilst what is actually converting and driving the major revenue for the store is the day-to-day minimalist items like rings, earrings, and things like that. So that's exactly what we're going to double down on, is to stay and be known for avant-garde creative pieces, whilst what is being sold, like with Gentle Monster, is simple and minimalist things that people wear on a day-to-day basis. That's how we envision to grow. Yeah.
So like a two-tiered approach.
Yes, exactly. I love how you mentioned the Gentle Monster, because that's our business of aspirations, like where we are heading.
Yeah, it really reminds me that it's quite similar to, in a good way, not competitive way.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you both. And lastly, Veronica.
Lena, you have a very impressive social media strategy. I saw that it's very engaging, very avant-garde. What was your strategy for acquiring your initial 1,000 orders?
Yes, so our initial strategy was to release as much of different products and see what would be the response of the market. Initially, we started with customization projects, like we would 3D print items as people would order. But then we quickly learned people don't want to wait. People don't want to wait, but they want to buy something instantaneously. So what we've done is we continue creating those crazy and avant-garde pieces that actually they provoke the conversation online. They draw attention for PR, for magazines, for celebrities all the time, for influencers. And what is actually being purchased, like I said, is like those pieces that we stock for rings, earrings, glasses that can be purchased every day. So even though we didn't invest much into marketing, like paid advertising or SEO, this strategy worked really well for us for growing community organically, not paid buys. Yeah.
I think
And
that's
we want
very impressive. You're creating a cultural cachet there, and provocative conversation.
Exactly.
Thank you, Lena. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. Thank you for sharing, and good luck as you continue the conversation with investors. Right. Let's turn the conversation to our next pitch. So we're going to hear from Owner Lock, presented by Aleksandar. If you want to go ahead and share your screen, wishing you all the best in your presentation.
Let's get going and leave the tech issues behind. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity and to present in this gathering. Actually, I wanted to show you I'm the founder of Attaché X and Ownerlock, and today I actually want to present Ownerlock, which is a system that we have developed to turn physical products into direct sales chains. How did we come up to this? Actually, I mentioned that I'm the founder of AttacheX and OwnerLock. I'm an IT engineer. I'm an ex-KPMG IT consultant. And I've spent most of my career in front of the screens. Actually, to get some off-screen time, I took on a hobby of leathercraft. With this hobby, I really unrelated to what I do as my day job, ended up developing a briefcase. And this briefcase, fast forward several years, ended up being productionized, patent pending registration, now sold in stores in London and online, and it's progressing steadily. I'm really happy with it. But as I was developing it, I realized that I really needed to also have a system in which I will retain a continuous connection with the customer, because I wanted to obtain continuous feedback from the customers, and I wanted to track the product life cycle and to have just a direct to the user communication channel. Around the same time as I was thinking how I'm going to do that, my bag was stolen while traveling to Barcelona. And if for anyone who has ever had this experience, you know the pain of it, and which is that much greater when you realize that all your documentation was in that bag. So this really brought to light a critical need that I also wanted to figure out if I can actually resolve as part of my own product. And this is actually how I came up with OwnerLock. And you can actually see here a screenshot of how it looks in the product. So what is it and how do I explain it? It is an NFC chip that we put in the wall of the product while we are making the product. You can actually see on the visual here an NFC chip, and then right over it on the lining we have a printed message which says I am owner-locked, which says tap here to read item and information and connect with the owner. So what happens when someone buys the product? They will tap with their phone in the indicated area to register ownership. And they want to do this because registering ownership allows them to activate the warranty, the guarantees, all the services, to get access to the entire product details and how-to videos, and get direct connection with the brand, so support. But also, and crucially to what I said before, it allows them to, when the product is misplaced, to mark the item as lost. So whoever finds this item, and when they see the printed message that says I'm owner locked, connect with the owner here, they will tap it and they will be able to actually reach out to the owner in a GDPR compliant way without us ever divulging the owner's details. Needless to say, this also, especially in the luxury area, helps with authentication of the products and really elevates the customer service. These are all the benefits that the end user gets. For the brand, there is their whole host of their own benefits here. They actually get a direct to user communication channel. And this is invaluable, I would say, because in many cases, and I think it is in our nature, we may tend to spend more in buying gifts to others than we buy things for ourselves. So you will go into a store, you will buy a nice piece, and you will gift it forward. The store and the brand is highly likely to never have any intel of who is the end user of this product. In this way, with ownership management in the system, the brand gets a direct to user, we call it direct to owner communication channel, which allows them to provide ticket-based support, service management, manage their products, and establish a rapport with the client that really builds followership. And then cherry on the cake here is that this allows brand to monetize on that direct to owner link, because through our platform, you can create segmented, contextualized, product-specific, customer-specific advertising, actually turn that user into a repeat buyer, upsell them with new products, And this is really something that I kind of developed for our own product. How this actually looks in real life. Sorry, I'm desperately trying to remove the back of the blocks from this, but Zoom is stuck a bit. So how does this look? These are the screenshots from our production environment, and with a demo account. A user, when they log in, they will actually see the list of all the owner-locked items they have on their account. In the drawer that we call this area, we can actually put a contextual banner that will take into account the items that the user has in their account and provide contextual advertising. In the item view, when we click on any of the items, we will actually open the item view, which includes the service menu, which then gives us the next level of information about the product, including entire product information, but also any active services related to that product, such as whether the product is within the warranty period, the guarantee period, whether the customer has the right to a return, whether there might be some additional services, such as some high-end brands offer, let's say, cleaning of the product or maintenance of the product. So this is actually where the owner will be able to manage and do everything related to that specific item. Here, for example, what we can do in a contextual advertising system is to say, aha, the customer is now visiting the page of this product, and this brand has introduced the next generation of that product. So we can actually say, we know that you're using this item and you have had it, for example, for 1 year. We hope you love it. We have introduced the next generation, and we can offer you a 20% discount just because you're an existing customer of ours. And this, I hope that this gives you kind of an idea. When a user is not logged into the system and taps the chip area, they will actually see a view with general information about the product, where we can also introduce contextual advertising to say, do you like this bag? You can click here to order it now, or we have it on promotion in this store, or we are having a special day that you can actually experience this bag or product in real life. Other than banners, which are presented here in the platform, we also have email, SMS, and push notifications communication channels. And these communication channels are actually, because the system is built to provide a peace of mind to the end users are inclined to leave these details for us because they want to be notified if someone has found their item. They want to be notified quickly that if someone wants to return it, or how they can get back to it. So this is actually how this works in real life. Why now? We've heard even before the previous presentations that digital marketing is really failing, especially for the small to medium-sized businesses. And here I focus even more on the manufacturing small and medium-sized businesses. The customers' acquisition costs are skyrocketing while the ROI is completely plummeting. I think most of the times for small businesses, it just feels paying for online advertising, just yelling into the void. You're doing your best, screaming your heart out, but no one is listening or seeing what you're doing. And the saddest of all, it even misses the ears of your own existing customers. There is a perfect storm happening right now, where we all on the second side have the digital product passport regulation that has just kicked in the European Union, where manufacturers are expected to introduce unique digital identifiers for all physical products, which link to entire product relevant information, such as sustainability, repair, origin, ecological footprint, and others. We have an immediate non-negotiable compliance burdens for all makers, which actually further limits the market access and increases production costs for the hard-hitting, budget-constrained SME brands. What we are suggesting is that we actually take this new cost center and turn it into a profit center. What is the market size? It is a very hungry and underserved market. We have about 3.7 manufacturing SMEs just in Europe and North America, and more than 15 million globally, with an average annual spend on online advertising between $2 and $50,000. What we are saying here is reroute some of this money to a much more efficient way to promote your products and generate sales without spending anything extra, and at the same time turning the compliance cost into a high profit center, because with owner lock, the DPP compliance is baked in. The business model is a very simple, predictable revenue, tiered SaaS in the first, and in the second, it is a transactional, what we call gravy, which is selling of additional tags, and what we're talking about, the direct-to-owner advertising. The payback, as we project it and as we see it, is under 3 months' time. And this is because we account for the digital ad spend that we will have to make to acquire those makers, and the free starter pack that we want to offer to actually adopt the land and expand approach. Try our product. We have 20 tags included. We have everything you need to give it a try. And for the beta customers at the beginning, we say we even have the 6 months free. And this is on a very, very limited basis. I just want to highlight this. This is an under 3-month payback time on a product that I think by any consideration is poised to generate a multi-year revenue because of the principle of how it works. Once you have put an NFC tag in the product and shipped the product, you're not going to recall the product to take the NFC tag out. And abandoning a healthy direct-to-owner communication channel is a next level decision that you will probably not going to take. So we are saying under 3 months payback time for a multi-year revenue stream. Where we right now, we are really lean startup approach, where we are looking for 500,000 euros investment to give us an 18-month runway on a 2.83 million valuation cap, safe instrument, and 20% discount. This will fuel the 3-phased approach, which in first one will focus on what I mentioned, acquiring those beta clients and building the real-world playbook beyond the Attaché X. So you want to also work with others to get the further feedback, not only from the Attaché X end customers. And then build stage, where we turn the feedback and the plans for the platform to reality, taking it to the next level, productionize all the learnings so that you can unlock the phase 3, which if you see here, the majority of the investment will go into that go-to-market war chest to drive the acquisition at scale of the small to medium-sized enterprises to actually scale that under 3-month payback machine. Who is behind this? I mentioned I'm ex-KPMG. I actually led the hyper-automation team in London for KPMG. Before that, I worked in Telecom Austria Group and in Deutsche Telekom. I was responsible for the entire P&L pillars for the areas which I was covering, leading international, multi-million, multidisciplinary projects, and with hands-on experience with data privacy, internal audit, external audit, compliance, and technologies. I think it is a given. I built the first generation of this platform myself. To take it to the next level is Akshit, and Akshit and I go a long time back. We actually met at one of the startup events, as we are both really into the startup scene, and he is an MIT IT engineer, a blockchain evangelist, something that is really critical for pushing through the DPP compliance as the regulation expects decentralized information storage for the digital product passports. He is the evangelist of generative AI and developer of LLMs and API platforms, all which are critical for the development and furthering of the solution. In parallel, we are partnering with suppliers to those small to medium-sized manufacturers, starting from the leather maker suppliers, and looking to branch out into other areas, which we hope will help us unlock a much easier to reach base of small makers to trust their own trusted channels so that we can fuel this growth. With all this said, I just want to say thank you for your time. And we really believe that OwnerLock is great for businesses. It is definitely great for customers. It is great for the world because it's for the economy. And I think I've also already highlighted how great it will be for the investors. So with this, I'll just thank you again and hand over to any questions.
Thank you, Alec. Great job. And let's hear from, if she's still with us, Helen, would you like to start?
Sorry, I was disconnected. I don't know really why, but I'm back. So Alec, maybe one question, because I know quite well your I would say your technology based on NFC, maybe blockchain or other solution to guarantee authentication. In my opinion, it's just to share this with you. It's direct to consumer media that you can provide. I would say between a brand and the consumer. It's not really easy, because I had the opportunity to discuss with some of your competitors, and this channel is very new. It will take a very long time to develop this, I would say, this habit, just to use your smartphone and have direct content from the brand through NFC. So it's very long. It's not natural. It's not an habit at this time. But and some other industries made some proof of concept, including food supplement industry, because you have a very high repeat order effect. So it's easier to reorder instead of buying your product for the second time through Amazon, for instance. And it's very, I would say, it's long efforts. It takes time, so it takes also cash to develop this habit. That's just, I want to share this with you.
Thank you,
Okay.
Helen. Am I okay to respond? Jen, I'm sorry, I don't know.
Yes.
Thank you, Helen. I really appreciate this. I'm on board that there is no existing habit of this. And in my personal opinion, I deeply value the idea behind digital product passports and traceability of any product. But I also agree that I do not believe that the end users will make a decision or will be so motivated by this to register just so they can read the digital product passport. I think it is more into the other space of compliance. So the way I believe we can bridge this, and this is why we are linking all these services through the system, is that the system is primarily intended to help retrieve customers their items when they have been lost or misplaced, which is actually why we have this printed message internally, which says if you have found this, tap here to contact the owner. Just this thing alone, we have seen from our own customers, is an incentive enough to register this, because they want to have this peace of mind that they have this ticked that if they lose this item, our own item costs £480. That they will have at least some chance of having it back, right? And further to this, we actually have all these services which only activate once you register it. So this is our approach to maximize this likelihood of them registering ownership, the exact risk that you have highlighted, right? And in parallel, on the side of the business, their own drive is one is the monetization, but the secondly is the regulatory push for compliance.
Yeah, it's the momentum.
This is the perfect moment to do it. I fully agree it will take a while to educate the market.
Okay.
Thank you both. Veronica?
I agree with Helene. I actually think it's rather than pitching it as a consumer app, is more interesting. There's more interesting use case. For example, can your technology be a back-end infrastructure for some luxury brands authentication? Because some brands are struggling to have a handle on the second hand market, and that I think existing products like AirTag that people are already using to track, passport and to put in their bags. So I'm actually much more interested in seeing how you can kind of integrate your products in the back end with some existing brands that struggle with that, kind of controlling their secondhand experience.
So thank you very much for this, Veronica. It's actually a very this question allows me also to, I think, maybe reflect more on the target group and why we are positioning it in the way we are positioning it. The principle of this is fully supported, and this is an integrated feature of the shelf to help with the authenticity management and validation of a product. Integration with the existing, as you said, as a system, as a wider scale management is quite possible through the APIs to link in with, for example, the stock management systems and things like this. What we have seen in discussions with brands, because we are targeting small to medium-sized makers, they are more focused on solutions that will help them generate sales and remove some of the headache that is coming from the compliance. Then they are focused on validation of authenticity of their items, because they are not in a position where they're so popular their items will be kind of copied over. So this feature definitely comes baked in, but it is not a priority what we have seen. The feature becomes a priority for much larger and more renowned brands, such as a big name brands, right? Which actually have already invested billions in their own proprietary environments to achieve this authentication and similar features to owner law. What I have seen in my own research is that these solutions are completely inaccessible to small brands. So what I've said is that that solution for mass market, for smaller and medium-sized makers, no complexities, very intuitive, very easy, removing all the barriers to sign up and focusing on the communication of the features that we have found to be most relevant to these brands. I don't know if this answers your question.
Thank you, Alec. And lastly, we'll hear from Chantal.
Yeah, I think one of the key things that I see as potentially an opportunity as you continue to scale the brand is obviously you're collecting a large amount of data, who owns a product, when they bought it, how long they kept it, and so on. Do you kind of see the brand eventually evolving as that ownership data scales? So does it become like a broader platform, or does it kind of stay a tool for SMEs?
I really, really like what you asked, and where you're going, you're thinking you're completely right. We record every possible data point that we can on the ownership, on the history of ownership, on detailed information about the product, which actually is required also for the regulatory purposes, but also on the behavior of owners with the product, on the support services. So if we come to a point where this database has specific value to be useful to someone to develop their services further based on this and we are able to provide this in a way that would never actually affect or divulge any owner-specific information. I think data privacy is a first. It is by design here. We decouple this on a database level to avoid any accidental releases of information. So yes, this definitely it would be on the track for future, but it is not our.
Thank you. Thank you so much again. And really well put together. I really enjoyed that as well. Thank you, Alec. Good luck in your conversations. And we have one final presentation today before we have our concluding remarks for the event. We're going to hear from STROLLI, which will be presented by Paul Merchant. Paul, we'll turn the time over to you and good luck as well.
Thank you very much indeed. Let me just call up my presentation. Is that there?
Yes.
Perfect. Right, I don't know what that's doing, but just press allow. Right, fair enough. Today I would like to present my company, but the reason I'm presenting is I want to have follow-up meetings where we get to have conversations about more detail about what I want to do. So the point of this is to secure another conversation. I will be explaining the vision for the company, why me, why do it now, what I've achieved so far, and what we're going to do in the future. So diving on in, as I said, my name is Paul. I am the founder of STROLLI, and if that's going to work, yes, it is. STROLLI is the humble shopping trolley remastered and made from recycled material. That's right, the shopping trolley, often thought of for old ladies or grannies, it is a market that is overlooked and ripe for development. It's currently dominated by cheap, generic, poorly made products. And as such, we will become the UK's #1 shopping bag brand by initially tapping into the 1.2 million Google searches for my product group in the UK. That is then what enabled us then to expand into the wider shopping bag market, which is huge, which I'll come back onto. And that will then enable us to expand into Europe. At this point, I would like to pose a thought. I bet if you thought about it, you could name a luggage brand. I also bet if you thought about it, you could name a rucksack brand. But can you name a shopping bag brand? STROLLI will become the answer to that question. And whilst we do it, we will be playing a strong role in removing new and single-use plastics from our society. That's the vision. That's what we want to do. We want to become Europe's #1 shopping bag brand. I have put this slide in here really to get you thinking about in Q&A. Maybe you will be thinking about target audiences. I can answer that in detail, but I'm pretty certain most of you will think of the person on the left, old lady pulling a shopping trolley. That's not really what happens anymore. Those people do exist in the market, but if it was down to just that sector, this would be a declining market because that target audience is shrinking. We have people coming in from youth, university students. We have sort of going into, these are real customers, by the way, in here. The lady at the bottom is Noel Gallagher's daughter, who happened from Oasis, who happened to buy one of our products. Basically, it's a multi-layered market that we can tap into. Moving on, why do it now? Why STROLLI and why now? There is, someone used this phrase earlier in one of their presentations. There is a perfect storm of events happening that benefit me and my company. The market itself is growing. In terms of shopping trolleys, it's not large enough to be monetized, but you can study it by Google Analytics. The shopping trolleys Google search terms have increased just under 40% from 700,000 to 1.2 million over the last 3 years. The shopping bag market as a whole in the UK is worth £500 million. That's quite large, I'd say, for shopping bags. It is globally, it is worth 12.5 billion, and it is forecast to grow 76% over the next 5 years. There are many reasons behind that. You have the urbanization of society. You have the fact that more people are living in towns and cities, and they are walking to local shops. On the younger generations, less of them are learning to drive or doing driving tests, and more people are taking public transport. On the flip side, we have a plastic problem. Consumers and retailers are pulling back from plastic, and someone needs to be positioned in the right place to pick up the slack from that. That is STROLLI. With the plastic problem in mind, consumers are more eco-conscious about what they're doing, and they are actively seeking out sustainable companies. There's stats and stuff on this. 73% of consumers want to reduce their demand on it. But there's also third-party proof in the sector. So there are places. Louis Vuitton launched a shopping trolley. So did Chanel. That says something that's going on in the market as well. John Lewis has seen an uptick in sales of shopping bags and shopping trolleys of 78% year on year. The other thing that's driving this is legislation. Europe is changing their legislation. They are on a phase out of plastics, and it is starting with single-use plastics, generally in the food wrapping sort of area, but that is having a cascade effect down into other industries. So that's why STROLLI now. Why me? I've obviously come up with the idea. I am an advertising and marketing person. I had my own advertising agency from 2003 to 2019. Worked with Samsung, Balvenie, Grant's Whiskey, Calvé Wine. I worked on lots of different brands, so I have a good background in advertising and marketing. I also understand how difficult it is to run a company. I know that if you do not keep control of your cash flow, your business is gone. I also know that it's bloody hard, and you need to be relentless, and you need to keep yourself going. I actually have those skills. I've proved that before, and I'll do it again with this company. What have we done so far? The important bit. Obviously, the idea, the origination, bring the company to market, create the branding, find manufacturers, all the things that you need to do to bring a product company to market. We have then done that. We have now had over 600 units into consumers' hands. We've got testimonials from celebrities. We were featured in the press. We've got an Instagram following of just around 2,000. That's small, but it will grow. But all the signals are there. And we have stress tested our business processes across the from logistics to warehousing to back office function. And we have also, importantly, tested our manufacturing. We now know that our manufacturing is good, and that is demonstrated by the lack of returns and good consumer reviews. That is where we've got to. We have now moved out of hustle phase. We've done that in the last sort of 3 months. So we are, I'll come into what's going on in a second. So we're on a raise. We are looking for £200,000 for a 15% equity stake in the business, which gives us a pre-money valuation of about 1.3 million. That will give us a runway of about 20 months, and I want this company to be washing its own face by then. Our business model is D2C at this moment in time. I put some figures there. They're quite conservative, but I can talk in those in more detail if anyone wants to use them. We flatline a little bit after year 3, year 4, 5. I base that on pure D2C. Once we get to year 3, actually, I should really flick over a page. Once we get to year 3, we should be looking to get into more direct retail businesses to expand. So our plan is we've switched off hustle mode, have switched into strategic growth mode. We want to have England and Britain being self-sufficient, even on a small level, in the next 12 to 15 months. And we want to be looking at opening in the Netherlands, Belgium, Luxembourg, and possibly the lower end of the Nordics. The reason for that is the market is more advanced than it is in the UK. The propensity to purchase these kind of products is higher. And we have also expanded our product range now out of the shopping trolley and into the wider shopping bag market. That is a hugely whistle-stop tour of what we've achieved. I mentioned about switching into strategic mode. We've done that in the last 3 months. So now the business is never going to grow if you're just on running around, hustling, trying to get ad hoc stuff pulled together. It needs to be a strategic approach. Our marketing has now launched. That will take time to kick in, but initial results are good. Top of funnel, industry average for using Meta and Google runs at about 1.8 CTR, maybe 2 if you're being generous. We are, across our testing, we're running an average of 4.8. That will improve over time once we step out of a testing phase and start drilling down onto the bits we know, because we're testing different messages on different audiences, and that will then have an effect on our ROAS. Our ROAS, as you'd expect, is low. Our first 6 weeks, we lost 35p, I think it was, on every pound we spent. Next month, I have a meeting week commencing the 4th of November. I'm expecting that to be at break even. And my experience from advertising and marketing, when we used to pitch for Piper's businesses, your business, if you do it correctly, you've got the correct market and you've got the correct strategy, that will start to become self-funding from a roughly 1 year in from starting your marketing and advertising. That is my presentation. My vision, as I said, to become Europe's #1 shopping bag brand, and I want to help remove single and new plastics from society. Come and join the STROLLI revolution. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. That was great. Thank you. And we love your energy.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a blessing and a curse.
Well, let's hear from our board and answer any questions they have. Let's start off with, let's go with Chantal this time. Chantal?
Yeah, great. Yeah, I think one of the key things that I see here, obviously, Paul, is you know, it's quite well, essentially you're selling kind of a one-off product, because once you purchase one of these, they kind of last for years. There's also generic trolley bags on the market, and then typically the audience is, you know, older consumers. So how do you kind of envisage yourself scaling, especially with some of these customers who are harder to reach digitally? And then essentially, how are you going to keep them in the funnel? Are you planning to expand into different product styles, or yeah?
Okay. Yep. Can answer all that. How to start? Yes, you're right. Firstly, if I am looking to remove single-use plastics from society and help with sustainability issues, they've got to be made right. So in which case, I will not be getting many repeat purchases for shopping trolleys from person. If someone buys one of my shopping trolley products, that should last. Simple as that. So 100% correct. However, the market is growing. It's not just old people at all. It's provably a much more diverse market. It's actually, the sweet spot is above 45 to sort of 58 roughly now, with urban dwellers living in cities, farmers markets, high-end shops and things like that. To come on to your thing about the products and how we differentiate, there's a couple of aspects to answer on that. Branding is key. It's as simple as that. But at present, there isn't anyone. The market is completely fragmented, and you have a lot of really cheap tap that is poorly made, is thrown away. There is a lot of room in this sector to take that, improve the offering, and actually own that sector, because it's not done in a sophisticated way. So, but it comes down to brand. And then finally, you're 100% right, range extensions. I want to be a consumer. I want to be Europe's shopping bag brand. On our website, we've brought in our first range extensions, which are using totes. And in reality, over time, if you are, how would I say it? We're basically in last mile delivery, but on a personal level, because you're taking your products home from the shops, and we want to see plastic gone. I hope that answers.
Yeah, great. Thanks, Paul.
Thank you both. Helen?
Thank you for your pitch, a high level of energy, so it's contagious.
Thank you.
That's the first thing. I've no question. In fact, I think that Maybe you should have a look on a brand present in France. The name of the brand is Kabaya.
Yep, I've heard of them.
And because I would say the mindset, the way they developed first one product, then another one, and they widen the range of products year after years, and it's quite a huge success. It could give you inspiration about the way to build your company.
Thank you for that. I've heard of them as well. I've been looking at them. I find it really fascinating how, because the growth on them have really sort of happened over the last 4 or 5 years in where they've expanded, and they've spotted the fact that it's changing. I'm totally with you on that.
You're welcome.
And Veronica?
I don't have strong opinions in this, and I will save everybody some time here.
Well, thank you, everybody. We really appreciate it. Paul, great presentation.
Thank you.
Really great presentation. Thank you. And everybody, will just finish our event today by thanking everybody again for joining, for your time, for your presentations, and definitely invite you all to not only connect with the Startup Club more, but each other, right? So share your contact information. The event will be live on YouTube here in the next day to two. Usually it takes us about a day to post. But in the meantime, we'll conclude with any final remarks from our board in no particular order, whoever would like to share any final thoughts. And my final thoughts are really great presentations today. We had a lot of really great presentations. So thank you all for joining us. Really appreciate it. The board.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye, Charles.
Bye-bye.
Any events from our board? Helen, did I see you? Yes. Maybe one additional comment, maybe to share my experience this year, the current year. It's very tough regarding private equity situation and this type of topics. So it's much more difficult to, I would say, to find cash and investors. So my advice could be that to be very precise and very focused in the way you present your pitch to investors, especially on private equity. I would say my feedback that maybe we could share with some other people, but I would say the environment is more difficult this year than last year.
Thank you, Helen. Veronica or Chantal, any final words or comments? All right, well, if there are none, thank you again, everyone, for joining. We truly appreciate it and highly encourage everyone to connect. Thank you again. Really great job today, everyone.
Thanks, Jennifer. Great host. Brilliant host.
Thank you, Michael.
Hostess, I should say, rather. Great job. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Have a lovely evening.
Bye to everyone.